This coming from Sahi. Thanks up, but what's up, buddy? It says, "Have you heard the Muslims' theory that Jesus swooned, but it was specifically the mirror that had healing power and healed and revived Jesus, all natural event."
I haven't heard that one as a Muslim theory. The one I've heard of the Muslims is that that Jesus almost died, but then God took him up, and people thought, like the Jews thought, that they had killed Jesus. This is in Surah, I think it's 4 verses 156, 57, 158, something right around there, that God took him up, but they did not kill him. The problem I have with that is something I call the Islamic catch-22 argument. So we've got really good evidence that Jesus predicted his imminent death. I mean, I can show that using historical method. So if Jesus did not die as he predicted, well, then that would make him a false prophet, right? Because he predicted he was going to die, he was going to be killed in the imminent future. So the Quran talks about him dying. He's going to be killed just after he returns, the second coming. But he predicted he was going to die in the imminent future. So and he said that scripture had to be fulfilled. So he's speaking of this as a prophecy. So if he didn't die, that would make him a false prophet. But the Quran refers to him as a great prophet. So in that case, the Quran would be wrong. The other option is that Jesus did die as he predicted. But in that case, the Quran is mistaken again, because the Quran says that he didn't. Either way, the Quran is wrong when it comes to Jesus there. So the only way to get out of that is to say, well, Jesus didn't predict his death, his imminent death. But, I can give several historical arguments to say that he did, which, how are you going to answer those? And if you can't, then you should throw out the Quran there. There's one other thing I could throw in, and this is something I heard from David Wood, and I'm sure you've heard of him. He's
Yep.
just huge
Yep.
on refuting Islam. And David said, we do have really good evidence that the disciples were going around proclaiming that Jesus had been raised from the dead. We have good evidence to think that they actually believe this. So we can understand how God would deceive the enemies of Jesus, the Jewish leadership of that day, and the Romans. We can understand why God would deceive them into thinking they had killed Jesus, but they hadn't. God took him up to heaven. But why would he deceive his own Jesus's followers, whom the Quran refers to as Muslims?
Mm.
And if he's willing to, and as a result, it blossoms into the largest world religion and the greatest competitor to Islam. It wouldn't seem to be very wise of God to do that. And then you look and you say, well, if God is willing to deceive Jesus' disciples, whom, again, the Quran refers to as Muslims, how do you know he's not deceiving you as Muslims right now?
Mm.
So I think that's a decent argument that's given by David.